Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are back today for another video. And we're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. We're watching the Warriors and Jazz right now, two of the best teams in the league. You got in my opinion, the Warriors are the best team in the league. You got the Jazz, who've been basically the regular season kings, who choke in the playoffs over the past 3 to 4 years. Yeah, Warriors been dealing with injuries past 3 or 4 years, but finally they get all their players and had some players step up, and they look like to the best team in the NBA to me. I know I haven't made an NBA video in a long time. Reasons why is because my audience is just not interested in NBA videos. I understood that. But I'm trying to branch out. That's one of my goals. I'm trying to branch out to other teams. I'm trying to branch outside of Georgia and Alabama every single video. I'm trying to branch out to other sports, branch out of football. I'm trying to branch out. I know a lot about the NBA. I love the NBA. If some people don't like NBA videos, that's fine. Just don't watch them, you know? I need to branch out the audience on this channel, in my opinion. That's going to get me some more views, get me more subscribers. And honestly, I'm all for it. So, but not wasting no time, though. The Lakers versus Warriors. Jeez. I might need to make a video about the Lakers, too. But this one will be about the Nets, because, yeah. I'm thinking about streaming this game, too. Warriors got out to a hot start. Jazz got on to a run, and, yeah, now this game is how. Oh, what a block. But, I want to stream that game as well. But, yeah. So let's talk about the Nets. We all know. Let's just go into, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Nets. Players. This like we'll go into a long story short scenario. So for like a couple years ago, they signed Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant was injured the entire year in 2020. Kyrie got him to the playoffs and decided to quit the playoffs for some weird reason. This thing goes about I don't know. But then they returned to 2021. They acquired James Harden at the beginning of the season. One of the best offensive teams in the league. And then they went against the Bucks in the second round of the playoffs. Lost in one of the, in my opinion, probably the best series of the year in that playoffs. That was an amazing series. I enjoyed watching that. And then now we're here. The Nets, the most talented team in the NBA coming to this season. If I'm not wrong, it may have been the Lakers, but if I'm not wrong, I think they were the preseason NBA Finals favorites. I think it was the Lakers, actually. I think it was Lakers. It doesn't matter. They were so close to each other. You can just call them the favorites anyways. They're the huge favorites to win the East. But they've disappointed, you know. So we're going to talk about it. They're playing well against the mediocre teams, but every time they step onto the court in a big game, they are not ready and they don't play well. So that's why we're going to talk about the Nets here. And the big three and the most talented team in the NBA. And I have to go on this for a second. The most talented team in the NBA, or most talented, does not mean great. Talented does not mean you're a good team, okay? Texas has been recruiting in the top 5 for the past 10 years and have literally done nothing with it. North Carolina got the #1 class, I think, this past year, if I'm not mistaken, and they've done nothing with that. In basketball, not football. How talented were the super team or failed super team? Lakers, this year, but a couple 10 years ago of Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, Steve Nash. So you don't, talented does not mean good, okay? But the Nets are, in my opinion, the most talented team in the NBA, but also one of the second most disappointing. I think the Lakers take that crown. But yeah, we're going to talk about it, go in depth. maybe talk about the Nets. Trade deadline was today, I think, so they can't trade anybody. But what they can do is they can we can talk about them and say what they need to do. Okay, first going into their best player. In my opinion, the best player in the league, Kevin Durant. This guy's been a beast on the court. You can't stop him when he's on the court. This guy's doing everything, and he's just, in my opinion, he's the best player in the league. It's either him or Curry. I give it to him though. He's unstoppable on the court, and but his main problem, unfortunately, he's unstoppable when he's on the court. The only one stopping him though on the court is him. Because it's not necessarily his fault, but ever since his ACL injury a couple of years ago, he's been getting injured all the time. He keeps getting COVID for some reason. He has the vaccine, but he keeps getting COVID. So he's been off the court so much, it's just like, it's almost like Julio Jones. Julio Jones was the best receiver for years when he was on the field. But he was off the field so much, it didn't feel like it. So it's like, So Kevin Durant, he just gets injured too much, man. And that stuff happens. And that's why other players on the team need to step up. But in terms of Kevin Durant, that's their centerpiece. That they don't need to make any changes there. Their problems come after Kevin Durant. Mr. Kyrie Irving will volunteer. Kyrie Irving, he has on the court problems, but he's also especially had problems off the court. Kyrie Irving, as we know, one of the best individual players in the NBA, has struggled. But we all know he doesn't like passing the ball. He thinks he's the best player on the court. He overrates his own self. He messes up team chemistry. And especially this year, but in the past, we've seen him have off-the-court problems. Well, this year, he sits out a couple months to the NBA season because he decides not to get the vaccine. He's changed his mind, though. He decides that because he's allowed to play in away games without getting the vaccine, he decides he's going to do that and not play home games. I mean, that's ridiculous. If I was the Nets, I'd trade him for that alone. If you're not playing for me all 82 games of the season when you can, or at least most of those games, there's no reason for you to be on my team. So, but maybe no team wants him because of his drama. He won't play all the games. So, but even when he's on the court, he doesn't like passing the ball. He thinks he's the best player on the court. He overrates his own self. He messes up team chemistry. A lot of times he doesn't try on defense. He doesn't care. He doesn't have the heart, doesn't have the passion. He's a great individual player, but he's not a good team player. And he's messing up the Nets right now. He's always thought he was the best player on the court. He thought he was better than LeBron. He thought he was better than KD. He thinks he's better than KD now, He wants to be the leader of the team. He struggles with being the second man, which he really could be good at, And that's what he is right now. He's the second guy. This is KD's team, sir. Accept it. And, he has a hard time doing that, so those are the problems with him. Then you got James Harden, who he's been playing great. Is he what he used to be? Not necessarily. But I feel like he's 90% of that. He's still a good player. He can still. Excuse me. There's a lot of things. He plays just as well as he used to, except for like 10%. Is he the suit? It's almost like, yes, he's a good player, but he's not necessarily. Or it's more like he's a star player, not a superstar. I don't know, but he's been playing. He's been playing good. He has problems of not trying on defense. That's in fact that might be his main problem. And on offense, he's inconsistent to say the least. One game he'll go off for 30. The next game he won't score. Or not necessarily won't score, but get my point here. Star not superstar player anymore. He does good things, but once again, it's not trying on defense, which he's done. He's gotten better with that a little bit, but it's not where it needs to be. And on top of that, he's inconsistent on offense. That's just the truth. He's inconsistent on offense, and inconsistency hurts a talented player. At least on the court, besides off the court issues, inconsistency can hurt a talented player, in my opinion, more than anything else on the field, on the court. Besides off the field stuff, or if a player's off the field problems, there's nothing more that hurts you than inconsistency. That's just my opinion. That's how I look at it. I don't know about you, but Harden's inconsistent. But maybe he can turn up. We don't know. So, yeah. Okay, next. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, okay, it's crystal clear that Blake Griffin is not in his prime anymore. Is he good enough to start? Yes, but he's not a star player. He's still pretty good for the most part. But he's not what he used to be. But Blake Griffin has a lot of the traits that really Kyrie and James Harden need. Blake Griffin has the passion. Blake Griffin is hustling every single possession. Blake Griffin is doing he's not messing up off the court. He's not messing up on the court. He has the passion. He has the heart. He wants to win every single game. The problem with him is, well, he's he's 35. He's not what he used to be. Good player, not a star, not a superstar. Not star, not superstar. Unlike Harden, who's star, not superstar. So, but he's a good asset to this team. And he needs to be on this team. Because heart and passion is what the Nets it's what the Nets need right now, Especially with KD being off the court so much. Injuries have hurt Blake Griffin too. Not as much as it's hurt KD, but it still hurts Blake a lot, Which makes sense. He's 35. He's been playing a long time. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, okay? But, at the same time, it just a little older. But I want to go back to James Harden for a second. And one of the things Kyrie could do, Harden at least Harden, James Harden's at least accepting the fact that this isn't his team. In fact, he's passing the ball. I think he might have the most assists on the team. If I look that up, I bet he does. But he accepts this is KD's team and he lives with it. He understands he's complying. He just he defense he's not, and he's inconsistent. But he passes the ball well, and he didn't pass the ball as much in Houston, but Houston was his team. He understands this is his team. So that's one thing Harden needs to do. If Kyrie could do that too, imagine how good this team could be. I mean, geez, Going on to the next problem. One thing the Nets may have not realized when they traded away Jared Allen, which is what they needed to get Harden. But one thing I probably didn't realize is they struggle a lot in the paint now. Scoring and defending in the paint. That's not, scoring in the paint, they're great at. Defending in the paint, they're good enough at. But the rebounding, man, they struggle with getting boards. And it makes sense, But they really do struggle with getting boards. And against some of the better and more physical teams, And a lot of the centers are coming back in the NBA. Yeah, they may have taken a decade-long absence, but they're coming back. Look at all the great centers on teams: Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and I know some people say he's a power forward. Power forward center doesn't matter. He plays in the paint. Rudy Gobert, Nikola Jokic, all these great centers. Karl Anthony Towns. You know, when you play these teams in the playoffs, playing these centers is not a good. That's not good. You know, Giannis is he's not a center, but he's one of he might be the best rebounder in the NBA. Because he's not even going for a rebound all the time, and still is up. He still gets all. When he tries to get a rebound, he's still So when you play those types of team, it's like it's a huge mismatch. They're not trying on defense. I mean, you can't do that either. You know, really, you can't really do that. But you especially can't do that in the playoffs, because playoffs is when everyone's trying on defense, which the Nets may get that back in the playoffs. But the facts are, this whole not we're playing offense, we'll pass around, we'll shoot, we'll let KD do the work on, and Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, let them do the work on defense. No. Kyrie and James Harden have never been like great defensive players, but they need to at least try. What a shot by Curry, by the way. That guy's gonna win MVP. Probably he might be the best player in the NBA. It's either him or KD, in my opinion. I give the edge to KD, but still, he will win MVP, and honestly, he deserves to. I hope he does. But yeah, Curry, well, not Curry, but you just got to, and what if it's a coaching factor? Now Steve Nash has not been coaching long enough. So I can't really tell if he's a good coach or not. And number two, is it his fault that Kyrie refuses to play on the court? Is it his fault that Harden's inconsistent and doesn't try on defense? Is it his fault? Is it really his fault? It's just like one of those. Is it really his fault? It's one of those things. So, yeah. But it's just like, you're the most talented team in the NBA. You got to be better. You got to be better in big games. You got to start trying on defense. You got to have the passion to win these games. I guess this applies to a team this year. You got to be better with. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Y'all might laugh at me. You got to be better at You got to be better, I guess, at social distancing, because the Nets have gotten real COVID problems this year. I get it's basketball; you're touching each other all the time, and I get COVID. I don't get into the politics part of it. Facts are, is your team's getting hit with COVID, and there's a reason why. So Kyrie Irving might be that reason, but yes, you got to fix that. I don't know. We'll see what they can do, but yeah. I mean, they don't really have a true center as well. That hurts them. I mean, so it's just like one of those things. But nonetheless, though, I've pretty much pointed all my problems out for the Nets, what they can do. They're probably going to make the playoffs even if they don't do what I say. But if they want to compete for a championship like they were in the preseason, win the East like they were in the preseason, or have a shot at it at least, win a championship like I guess Lakers were favored. But they were competing for in the preseason. If they want to have those things, step up. Step up, and they play tomorrow against what's it, the Wizards, I think so. Yeah. Look at this team as well. Anthony Edwards and Cat. High-flying, high-rising team right there. Okay. That's all I got to say, though. Should have wore a Hawks jersey during this video, but I decided to wear Georgia's national title shirt. You know? How about them Bulls right now? I need to make a video about them as well. Them overachieving. Well, not necessarily overachieving for the team, but the fact that they've gotten so good. They're not overachieving. I don't know why I said that. Okay. We'll do it this one. This is how I'm going to piece out NBA videos. Not all the time. Why not, though? I know nobody cares. I don't care, you know. I do care about this video picture. Peace and go Hawks! How do I do a peace sign? Yeah. Oh! Let's get him involved too. Steph. Peace and go Hawks. See you, Pete. All right, see ya. We'll let you see the whole thing. Same thing with Kobe. We'll let you see the whole thing. Just, you know, get a, if you care. I might stream. Oh yeah, I might stream the Nets and the Jazz later tonight. I want to get your opinions. Peace.